Hello my dear Research 2 students, and welcome to our video on Literature Review Matrix. I hope you have watched the video on the literature review. If you haven't, stop, go and watch that one first. Okay, so this is the second step. Now that you understand what your literature review is and you're ready to work on it, then it's important to work on the literature review matrix. So remember that what we're trying to do is putting the pieces of a puzzle together. However, right now, it's like, oh my goodness, we had a little disaster. There was a little niece or nephew who took the pieces of the puzzle and just scattered them around the house, because children do that. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take all those pieces of your puzzle and put them in the same bag. That is your literature review matrix. Yeah, it's a bag. So remember that you have to collect between 20 and 35 resources depending on the type of study you're doing. But that's a lot of information. That is a lot of texts. So how are you going to organize them? How are you going to manage them so that you don't go crazy and you don't have this idea of, I saw that somewhere, but I don't know where. We don't want that. We want to be super organized, very effective. And this video is going to help you precisely with that. So first of all, you need to make sure the articles that you found are 1. Closely related to your research question, and 2. Research studies or a literature review or meta-analysis. So this is very easy to identify. A research study will tell you in the abstract. In this study was carried out, or the purpose of the study was, like you will read the word study or research or project. Okay, so for that reason, for example, master's thesis, doctoral thesis, undergraduate thesis are also part of your literature review. And then you can have another type of source, which is a literature review or meta-analysis, what the documentary analysis people are doing, right? So you can find sentences in the abstract going like, this paper revises 500 articles, or the present meta-analysis, so this is another possibility for you. You can shorten some routes by using different literature reviews. Okay, so in Research 1, you were kind of, bookworms, reading a lot and completing your fichas de lectura. I don't want you to waste those. I want you to use those properly and fish for information there that you can use to complete your literature matrix. So as you reread your fichas de lectura or the abstract of the new articles you find, group your articles according to your variables, okay? Color code them, literally, like I'm going to show you something in a minute. And Taylor says, moving articles in color blocks actually makes it easy for you to see the literature and make sense of it. Like if you do this exercise of color coding your articles in the literature review matrix, as you can see in this example, you see that there are some yellow articles, some green articles, some orange articles, and this helps you organize your mind as to the categories that are emerging. So as you prepare your articles, as you organize your literature review matrix, you are still doing an analysis work. So that's why I say color code them literally, and that is exactly why we have to put them in a matrix. In fichas de lectura, I saw a couple of examples. People had isolated documents, right? Like you had just documents on separated files. By having everything on a matrix, then you can see the big picture, like the puzzle that we're trying to build. So let's go one step at a time on the literature matrix. So first of all, you need to complete the basic information of the article. So we have authors, we have title, we have year, publication information. So is the journal published, where is the article published? Is it in the journal? So you have volume, issue number, pages. If it's any other document, check APA guidelines for information needed. So for example, if it's a website, a blog, etc., remember that we try to refrain from using these non-scholarly resources, but you might find interesting sources that are refereed on blogs also. So make sure that you have the information of the publication. Also, you need to have clear access and location. So include the DOI or URL where the article can be accessed. In the case of books or files that have been downloaded separately and no URLs, it is available. Use a hyperlink if possible to the file. So this, in the case I need to be able to see the files to approve them. You may have found some files you're not sure about, so you just share that with me and I'll let you know. So just a little disclaimer, remember that this matrix was created by Professor Josephine Taylor. I just want to acknowledge that because it's amazing. So let's continue with our literature matrix. So we have the next part where we have important information also, but is more specific now to each article. So we have purpose of the study. What is the stated purpose? Regularly, this is super clear in the article. It says the purpose of this study is, so you just go fish for that sentence and you put it right here. Then you have the context and participants. So usually it's really easy to find. Usually there are sections for this, like who were the participants, what type of setting. So this was a study conducted in a primary school with 5th grade kids, etc., etc. Yeah. Then you have your independent variables and dependent variables. So according to Josephine, the independent variable is the X variable in the statement, the effect of X on Y. This should be able to be stated in one word or a short phrase. So we have, for example, the use of X to solve Y in a context. So the use of blogs to solve writing blockages. I don't know. So the blogs will be the X variable, the independent variable. Then the dependent variables are the Y variables in the statement, the effects of X on Y. This should be able to be stated in one word or short phrase. So the use of blogs to solve writing blockages. So writing blockages will be the dependent variable, right? So this information will help you understand the type of study that you're looking at. Some studies are going to be cause and effect studies that are going to have, the effect of X on Y, the effect of positive discipline on students' behavior, etc., etc. However, there are some articles that don't have it. So if these articles don't have it, don't have a relation that is cause and effect, then you're going to have a descriptive study, exploratory study. So then in here, you're going to fill out the following column, the next column, not the independent, dependent variables one. So as you are understanding, sometimes this might be empty and the other one will be filled out and vice versa. So here, if the study does not posit an effect on X on Y relationship, describe the inquiry. So describe how something works in a particular context. So for example, the use of blogs in a high school in Bosa Libertad. Something like that. It's just a descriptive study where they want to see how something functioned or worked in a particular context. Okay, then the 3 further columns of our literature matrix are the methodology of the study, the measurements used, and you need to be able to paraphrase the findings. So let me tell you about that. We need to know what data collections or techniques or interventions were used. So what were the data techniques used to obtain the data? So questionnaires, focus groups, interviews, talk alouds, etc. Was an intervention carried? Maybe yes. It was an action research, maybe not. Then you have the following column, which is measurements used, assessments or inventories applied with names. So any measurement or assessment given featuring the name of the measurement. Kolb's learning styles inventory, pre and post assessments. Some studies use this type of information. So the resilience scale, you know about that in the self course. So the resilience scale or the self-esteem scale or whatever. So if there was an instrument used, you just name the instrument. And then findings. This is very important. Brief summary of main findings. This needs to be paraphrased in the student's own words. Why? Because when you're finally writing your literature review, you're going to use this information. This is gold. This is going to be great for your study. So if you carry out all this exercise with your articles without writing, don't worry, you will ease into the writing. This will help your writing because everything will be more organized. So, not in the literature review matrix. Why shouldn't we have here? We shouldn't have theoretical frameworks. We shouldn't have curricular frameworks. We shouldn't have definitions or concepts. Why? Because that belongs into the theoretical framework, and what you're doing here is constructing your literature review. So I need to see your matrix with the studies you have from Research 1. Some people mentioned 7, some people have 12. So whatever you do for Monday, you need to have that ready. You were supposed to be working on that, so this video is to clarify these aspects. So I hope it was good and it clarified them so that you can continue working on what you were doing. So guys, remember that this is a step-by-step process. This is a process, and processes have steps. So step number 1, identify your keywords, variables, constructs, and your search strings. How are you going to combine these words in order to find the articles that you need? Second, search 20 to 35 articles depending on the type of study that you're doing. 3, read strategically, organize your articles in your matrix. As you can see, you're going to go fishing. You're going to go mining for your articles to fill out the matrix. You don't need to read the entire article thoroughly. You just need to go and get the information that is necessary to fill out the matrix. Color code to see the most important ones. You can see hierarchies within the articles that you find, so you can group them according to your variables. For example, motivation, all the articles that fall within that category. But within that category of motivation, which ones talk about motivation towards language learning, or which ones talk about motivation in teenagers? You know, like you can make subcategories and color code all that into the matrix. Then, after you have done all that and you have shown me your matrix fully created, you're going to create an outline for your literature review section. Not until you have completed the matrix you can do the outline. Stop writing if you are writing. Don't, because you're wasting time, okay? And then at the end, when you're ready with that, then you're going to write the literature review section, right? So I'm going to make sure I change something into the grades for the first term. The thing that I'm going to grade the first term is the matrix, not the writing, not the written section, okay? So it's the matrix, and I'll continue talking to you about this because I think I may have to include also the outline, but I'll get back to you on that, okay guys? So I hope this was helpful. We are Única formando los mejores maestros with all these best strategies that we have. So I hope you learned a lot in this video and you took some notes. And see you in class or see you online. Bye!